Tariffs, which are taxes imposed on imported goods, are often used by governments to protect domestic industries or to negotiate trade deals with other countries. While tariffs can provide benefits to certain sectors, such as local manufacturers, they also have significant consequences for everyday consumers. In 2025, new tariffs introduced by the U.S. government are impacting various aspects of the economy. From rising prices on everyday goods to changes in the global supply chain, these tariffs are influencing how Americans shop, spend, and save. This video explores the top 10 ways the 2025 tariffs are affecting everyday American consumers. 1. Increased prices on imported goods. One of the most immediate effects of the 2025 tariffs is the increase in the prices of imported goods. Many everyday items, from electronics and clothing to furniture and automobiles, rely on international supply chains. With higher tariffs on these products, manufacturers and retailers pass on the added costs to consumers in the form of higher prices. This means that everyday consumers are seeing more expensive prices on items they regularly purchase. 2. Higher costs for food and groceries. Agricultural products are a significant target of tariffs, with tariffs being placed on various food imports such as fruits, vegetables, and meats. As a result, American consumers are facing higher grocery bills. While some domestic farmers may benefit from increased protection for their products, consumers are paying the price for imported food goods, leading to increased inflation in grocery store prices. This affects household budgets, particularly for low and middle-income families. 3. Disruption in supply chains leading to shortages. Tariffs disrupt global supply chains by increasing the cost of components and raw materials needed for manufacturing. This often results in delays and shortages of products. For example, household goods such as kitchen appliances, furniture, and even cars may become harder to find as tariffs affect the flow of raw materials or finished products. Consumers may face longer wait times for products and higher prices due to scarcity. 4. Impact on clothing and apparel prices. Many clothing brands and retailers source their products from countries with lower production costs, particularly in Asia. With new tariffs imposed on clothing imports in 2025, consumers are seeing price hikes on their favorite apparel. The cost of manufacturing clothes domestically is often higher than importing them from abroad, so the increased tariffs lead to price increases at stores, especially for fashion-conscious consumers who rely on affordable clothing options. 5. Higher transportation and fuel costs. The transportation sector is another area impacted by tariffs, especially as they affect the cost of manufacturing parts for vehicles, trucks, and shipping containers. The cost of building vehicles and ships may increase due to the added cost of imported components, which in turn raises prices for consumers. Additionally, higher tariffs on oil and petroleum products could push up fuel prices, further affecting everyday American consumers who rely on vehicles for commuting and travel. 6. Decline in consumer electronics affordability. Consumer electronics, such as smartphones, laptops, televisions, and other gadgets, are often manufactured or assembled overseas, particularly in countries like China. With the introduction of 2025 tariffs on these products, U.S. consumers may see prices for these items rise significantly. Higher tariffs increase the cost of importing these goods, meaning consumers have to pay more for the latest technology, potentially delaying purchases or prompting consumers to seek cheaper alternatives. 7. Increased cost for home improvement and construction projects. Many home improvement products, such as appliances, tools, and building materials like lumber, are imported. The new tariffs in 2025 have raised the cost of these imported goods, making home renovations and construction projects more expensive. Consumers looking to remodel their homes or build new ones are facing higher prices for essential items, which could delay projects or make them financially burdensome. 8. Strain on small businesses. Small businesses that rely on imported goods or raw materials for manufacturing are also feeling the effects of the 2025 tariffs. Many small retailers and service providers do not have the same capacity as large corporations to absorb the increased costs or find alternative suppliers. As a result, some small businesses may raise their prices to cover the added costs of the tariffs, impacting everyday consumers who frequent these establishments. In the worst-case scenario, some small businesses could be forced to close due to increased operational costs. 9. Impact on international travel. Travelers from the U.S. are also impacted by the new tariffs, as international travel becomes more expensive due to the rise in airline fuel costs, higher taxes on international products, and increased tariffs on foreign luxury goods and travel accessories. For instance, traveling abroad may become costlier for American consumers who purchase duty-free products or souvenirs. Additionally, as airlines pass on the rising costs of international flights to passengers, those planning trips abroad may face higher ticket prices. 10. Slower economic growth and reduced consumer confidence. Higher tariffs can contribute to slower economic growth, which indirectly affects everyday consumers. As companies face higher production costs and reduced access to foreign markets, they may cut back on hiring, leading to slower wage growth or even job losses in certain sectors. This can decrease overall consumer confidence, which in turn reduces spending on non-essential goods and services. Lower consumer spending can further slow economic growth, creating a cycle that affects everyday American consumers. The 2025 tariffs are having a wide-reaching impact on everyday American consumers, from higher prices on imported goods to disruptions in supply chains. While the tariffs are designed to protect domestic industries and encourage American manufacturing, they also lead to increased costs for households and businesses. Consumers are seeing price hikes across a variety of sectors, from food and clothing to electronics and transportation, making it more challenging for families to maintain their budgets. Furthermore, the impact on small businesses, global supply chains, and overall economic growth underscores the broader economic consequences of these trade policies. As the U.S. navigates these changes, consumers will continue to feel the effects, and their purchasing habits and financial decisions may be influenced by the shifting economic landscape.